Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today we're on a road trip, and it's kind of a crazy road trip. Come here, let me show you something. You see this? This is a piece of 1-inch thick, level 3 bullet resistant glass. For those of y'all that don't know, I retired from law enforcement a couple of years ago, and I picked up a job as a security director. At the place where I work, we're doing some security upgrades, and my boss wanted us to find and test out some bullet resistant glass. So I went on a search on Facebook Marketplace, Craigslist, some other things. In case you don't know, bullet resistant glass is not something people just keep around. Typically, it is made to order for every particular job. So locating a piece is not easy. Well, I managed to find this one, and then I drove 3 hours to pick it up because the price was right, and that was as close as anybody we found that had some. And when I say that we're gonna test it, we're gonna test it. He wants to pew at it, so we're gonna do that. So knowing I had this road trip coming up, I wanted to build a special MRE. Now I know you guys really enjoy when I do videos where I show practical applications for the homemade MREs that we create here. So this is a perfect opportunity for that. Now when I went to put this one together, so I wanted to see how much of this I could put together from a single source, that being Dollar Tree, and I wanted to see if I could find some really good stuff to bring on this trip. Now I didn't worry so much about Best Buy dates, anything like that, because this was a purpose-built MRE. As a matter of fact, one of the items I picked up is already expired. Hope that works out well. But before we go any further, let me introduce you to Dad Budget Adventures Homemade MRE Menu RT1, celebrating this crazy road trip. One of the cool things about putting together these MREs for things like this is it cuts back on the expense of things like fast food dining. Fast food places have gotten so expensive, the quality of food has gone downhill, the quality of service is almost non-existent, and the ability to put together something the way you want it is really the big advantage for doing what we're doing here. So with that being said, let's see what I picked up to go on our road trip. So the first thing I grabbed was our entree, and this is the item that is already expired. So I'm really hoping that I didn't make a bad choice with this. But what I picked up is this Casa Verde coconut chowder. Of course, this is more of a soupy type entree, but we're gonna find a workaround to make this eat more like a meal. To go with that, because we're carnivores, I picked up a pack of the Chicken of the Sea imitation crab meat in brine. It's a single serving portion of imitation crab meat, and I think crab meat is going to go really well with that coconut chowder. Now, to help bulk this out a little bit and make it eat more like a meal, I found these single serving portions of minute rice white rice. I bought these in the 2-packs at the grocery store before. I didn't even know they made them in a single pack. This would be a great way to absorb some moisture and make that chowder go a little further. For our beverage, I came across this Vans Warped Tour water. This is put out in cooperation with the Vans Music Tour and Monster Energy drinks. And this is what they call deep well water. I'm not really sure what to expect from this. It's just water. There's nothing added into it. It's not sparkling. There's no flavor. It's just water, but it's deep well water, whatever that means. Now for this trip, instead of walking around snacks, we have road snacks. And for that, I picked up a pack of Seneca cinnamon apple chips. I'm a big fan of dehydrated apples and freeze-dried apples. I'm not sure how these are prepared, but we're gonna find out. It'd be a good road snack right there. And since you gotta have more than one road snack, I also picked up a pack of the Combos Buffalo Blue Cheese Baked Pretzels. One of my favorite things about buying snacks at Dollar Tree is that you can buy these single serve portions of combos. Everywhere else the bag is 3 times this size. I don't necessarily want that many combos, but when you're filling a meal for an individual, this is a good way to go to get those little snacks. And combos are commonly found in military MREs. And finally, for our dessert, I picked up a pack of these Just the Dough cookie dough bites. They're not dipped in chocolate. There's nothing fancy about them. It's just little cookie dough bites. And who doesn't love cookie dough? All right, so we're gonna start heading back toward home, but before we do so, I wanna get our entree into the trucker's lunchbox so we can use it exactly as it was intended to be used, as a way of heating up food on the road. Let's get this set up, and then let's get back on the road and start heading toward home. And a little ways down the line, we're gonna stop and eat. All right, it's time to get back on the road. We've got a little bit of ground to cover, so let's let our food warm up and let's get rolling. All right, we're a little ways down the road and I am starting to get a little bit of a case of the munchie. So now it's time to start trying some of these items so we can see if they were good choices. Parked in front of this abandoned motel here. I figured this looked like as cool a place as any to pull over and try a bite. First thing we're gonna do is get into this Vans Warped Tour water, or deep well water. Now y'all know that normally I don't put prepared drinks in my MREs, but finding a can of water, I think that's a pretty good option there because it does add a little bit of extra strength over a plastic bottle. Not to mention it's not a plastic bottle. We're gonna give this a try and see. Oh, that just went everywhere. We're gonna see what deep well water tastes like. So, cheers. It's water. It doesn't have any flavor, but I can tell that it's not your typical bottled water. It tastes a little bit mineral rich without being overwhelming with it. No, that's not half bad. Reminds me a lot of the water I used to drink out of the hose as a kid, except it doesn't taste like plastic. All right, let's give the Seneca Cinnamon Apple Chips a try. These will be good for munching as we continue on down the road. By the way, if you're one of those internet sleuths, why don't you tell me where I'm sitting right now? Do a little bit of hunting around and see if you can find this place. And then leave me a comment and tell me where I'm sitting right this minute. Ooh, those smell good. So you can see these still have the peel on them, so you got those extra little vitamins and stuff that go with that. Plus you got a little bit of cinnamon flavor. So I can smell the apples, I can smell the cinnamon. That's a really pleasant smell. Let's get in there and try a bite of that. Those have a really nice crunch. They're not overly chewy. They break apart in your mouth really well, and they've got just a little bit of crunch. That's a good road snack right there. It's an interesting item. Not bad for $1.25. I mean, when bottled water costs $2 and something a bottle these days, that's a good choice. Have any of y'all ever been to the Warped Tour? If you have, tell me about it in the comments. Tell me who your favorite band was that you saw on Warped. Next up, of course, is our Combos Buffalo Blue Cheese Baked Pretzels. I like combos, but I do prefer the unsalted ones. I have a bit of a sensitivity to salt, and if pretzels have too much salt on them, I find them to be less than enjoyable. But combos isn't too bad. Ooh, that's strong. That blue cheese is really coming through. It's a good thing I'm on this road trip alone because I'm going to have some serious dragon breath after this. Yeah, let's give that a try. Those are pretty good, but the filling is really salty. Couple that with the salt on the pretzels, it does tend to be a little much. That is definitely going to make me thirsty. I don't know if y'all can see it or not. Kind of look in there and see a little bit of the blue cheese. I hope that's what that is. All right, y'all, we need to get back on the road. Our food is still heating up over there, so we'll find some place else to pull over in about the next 30 minutes and have us some lunch. All right, so it's time for lunch. We are at a rest stop, a abandoned or a closed down rest stop just off the highway. You can probably hear the highway sounds right over here. Hopefully that won't be too intrusive. Now the picnic area is still open. I can still park here, just can't use the bathroom over there. So, but let's get out our entree and get this going. I'm really anxious to see how this turns out. Everything seems to be sufficiently hot. The first thing I'm going to do is add in the crab meat. I probably need to break that up a little bit. That doesn't smell good at all. Okay, but dance with the one that brung you, as they say. So that's what we've got with our crab meat. It's really not attractive and doesn't smell good. But I'm gonna break this up so that it'll distribute around pretty well. And I guess before I add anything else into it, I probably need to try it. Let's get us a little bite of that. I'm kind of scared of this. It smells bad, and the last experience I had with Dollar Tree imitation crab was not good. It was a different brand, so I was hoping this might be better. It's not great, but it's really not bad either, so I think we can work with that. All right, let's get out our Casa Verde coconut chowder. This is swelling a lot since it's been cooking. Ever since the first time I saw this, I've been wanting to try it and use it in one of these, and I always kind of knew I wanted to mix it with some kind of seafood. That's a curious smell. There's nothing in this that really stands out over anything else when it comes to the overall aroma. I want to get a little bit of that. Let's try it and see how it is. That is not what I expected. It's much more savory than I thought it was going to be. I figured with it being coconut chowder, it might be a little on the sweet side, but it's not. Let's add that in here. It does look good. It's got beans, it's like orange bell peppers, there's some potatoes. I mean, it's a good looking stew. Let's stir in our crab meat, get it all mixed up, and now we need to add our rice. It's pretty chunky. You can see the way it's turned out. It's not soupy. I kind of expected it to be really liquidy, but it's not. But we're still going to add in our rice, because honestly, it just sounds like something that should have rice in it, right? And let's break that up. Mix all that together. While I'm mixing this up, it's probably a good time to tell you, don't forget, if you like this content, like the video. Also subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Hit that notification bell so you can be made aware of all upcoming videos. We got cool stuff coming. And as always, feed the algorithm. Leave a comment down below. Tell me your thoughts on this meal. Tell me if you've tried the things that are in it, or give me suggestions for places that I need to try when I'm building my homemade MREs. I haven't mentioned that in a while. If you've got a store that you really like that has things that look like they would work for this, drop me a comment and tell me about it. It may not be in my area, but I do tend to travel a lot, and while I'm out, I look for places that I haven't been to build MREs. Also, now is a great time to tell you guys about a project that I have been working on that I started last year, and I had to push it aside for a little while, but it's something that a viewer comment in my most recent video reminded me that I need to get back to this. I am kicking off something that I call Operation Meals Ready to Feed. This was an idea that was sparked because a lot of times when I buy things in bulk, I end up having stuff left over, and I take them to work and I'll put them out where my coworkers can enjoy them. But I also started realizing there might be some other options to it. And it gave me the idea that with the success of this channel, and also looking at the results when I did the Something Bad Happened bag for our buddy Joey the Roadie, and how amazing this audience was at participating in that, I realized that this is something that we all need to do together. In this day and age where there's a lot of negativity and it seems like we're always fighting against each other, sometimes we just need to do something nice for people. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put up a wish list for Amazon that has items that I would like for my audience to send to me. Hold on a second. I know how that sounds. I'm going to coordinate an effort to build 50 MREs that will be handed out to the homeless in my area. Once I get all the items together, I'm going to get a group of volunteers together. We're going to pack up 50 MREs, and then we're going to go out and distribute them. The way you can help is you can follow that wish list and send me any item on there that you're comfortable sending. If you can't afford to help, don't worry about it. There's lots of folks out there that can, but there will be items of all different price points that will be shipped directly to me. And then in about a month and a half, maybe 2 months, I'm going to get my volunteers together. We're going to pack the meals up and we're going to take them out and distribute them. We will film that, not for the glorification of this channel, but so that you guys and everyone else out there can see what happens when a community comes together. So in the description box down below, starting with this video and everything I do for the next month, there will be a link for Operation Meals Ready to Feed. All right, let's try this because it's cold out here. I'm getting cold and I know my food's getting cold. Let's get us a bite of this concoction, our coconut chowder with crab meat and rice. Let's see what we've got here. Oh, there's chickpeas in the chowder. Interesting. I didn't see that on the label. It's not bad. It's just not spectacular. I had hoped for something with a little more flavor, a little more kick, and it's just kind of meh. The flavors are there, they're just not strong enough. Let's get a drink. I did come prepared just in case, and I brought a couple of packs of Louisiana hot sauce so that we can add it in there and see if that helps. Maybe a little spice will bring it home. Had somebody that pulled up over here. They're leaving now. I guess they were like, who's this weirdo? What's he doing talking to that camera over there? All right, let's give that a try. See if adding that hot sauce helped any. That helped a lot. That added vinegar, that added spice kind of makes this a lot more tolerable. Still not one of my favorite things I've created, but as far as a lunch on the road, it'll do. All right, we've got one more thing to try, and then we've got to get back on the road. My boss is really anxious to see this little treasure I picked up this morning. But before we go, we got to try our dessert. Just the dough, chocolate chip, and caramel cookie dough bites. Let's get in here and see what we got. A little bag inside the box. Ooh, they smell just like cookie dough. That's kind of nice. All right, let's give this a try. Maybe this will redeem that entree. That's pretty good. If you like raw cookie dough, try that out. That's not half bad. It's got a little bit of a artificial aftertaste to it. It's probably a preservative or something that's in here, but overall the flavor is really good. Cheers. All right, everybody, that is it for our homemade road trip MRE from Dollar Tree. I hope it gives you some idea for things to look for when you're at Dollar Tree and maybe some things to not look for at Dollar Tree. Just leave them on the shelf. Let somebody else have it. Don't forget to go down in the description box and help support Operation Meals Ready to Feed. We're going to get that thing rolling, and let's do some good in our community. And until the next one, prepare for the world that you live in, not the one you wish existed. We'll see you around.